Sleep, Sleep, Sleep Stories, Volume 1. A collection of readings from A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson, read by Grampa Beesley. These readings are meant to soothe you to sleepiness. A good boy. I woke before the morning. I was happy all the day. I never said an ugly word, but smiled and stuck to play. And now at last the sun is going down behind the wood, and I am very happy, for I know that I've been good. My bed is waiting, cool and fresh, with linen smooth and fair, and I must be off to sleepsin by, and not forget my prayer. I know that till tomorrow I shall see the sun arise. No ugly dream shall fright my mind, no ugly sight my eyes, but slumber hold me tightly till I waken in the dawn, and hear the thrushes singing in the lilacs round the lawn. Armies in the Fire. The lamps now glitter down the street, faintly sound the falling feet, and the blue even slowly falls about the garden trees and walls. Now in the falling of the gloom the red fire paints the empty room, and warmly on the roof it looks, and flickers on the backs of books. Armies march by tower and spire of cities blazing in the fire, till as I gaze with staring eyes, the armies fade, the luster dies. Then once again the glow returns, again the phantom city burns, and down the red-hot valley, lo, the phantom armies marching go. Blinking embers tell me true, where are those armies marching to? And what the burning city is that crumbles in your furnaces? At the seaside. When I was down beside the sea, a wooden spade they gave to me to dig the sandy shore. My holes were empty like a cup. In every hole the sea came up, till it could come no more. Autumn fires. In the other gardens and all up the vale, from the autumn bonfires, see the smoke trail. Pleasant summer over, and all the summer flowers, the red fire blazes, the gray smoke towers. Sing a song of seasons, something bright in all. Flowers in the summer, fires in the fall. Block City. What are you able to build with your blocks? Castles and palaces, temples and docks. Rain may keep raining and others go roam, but I can be happy and building at home. Let the sofa be mountains, the carpet be sea. There I'll establish a city for me. A kirk and a mill and a palace beside, and a harbor as well where my vessels may ride. Great is the palace with pillar and wall, a sort of a tower on the top of it all, and steps coming down in an orderly way to where my toy vessels lie safe in the bay. This one is sailing, and that one is moored. Hark to the song of the sailors on board, and see on the steps of my palace the kings coming and going with presents and things. Now I have done with it. Down let it go. All in a moment the town is laid low, block upon block lying scattered and free. What is there left of my town by the sea? Yet as I saw it, I see it again, the kirk and the palace, the ships and the men, and as long as I live, and where'er I may be, I'll always remember my town by the sea. Fairy bread. Come up here, O dusty feet, here is fairy bread to eat. Here in my retiring room, children, you may dine on the golden smell of broom and the shade of pine. And when you have eaten well, fairy stories hear and tell. Farewell to the farm. The coach is at the door at last, the eager children mounting fast and kissing hands in chorus sing. Goodbye, goodbye to everything. To house and garden, field and lawn, the meadow gates we swang upon, to pump and stable, tree and swing. Goodbye, goodbye to everything. And fare you well for evermore, O ladder at the hayloft door, O hayloft where the cobwebs cling. Goodbye, goodbye to everything. Crack goes the whip, and off we go. The trees and houses smaller grow. Last, round the woody turn we swing. Goodbye, goodbye to everything. Foreign lands. Up into the cherry tree who should climb but little me? I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad on foreign lands. I saw the next door garden lie, adorned with flowers, before my eye, and many pleasant places more that I had never seen before. I saw the dimpling river pass and be the sky's blue looking-glass. The dusty roads go up and down with people tramping into town. If I could find a higher tree, farther and farther I should see, to where the grown-up river slips into the sea among the ships, to where the roads on either hand lead onward into fairyland, where all the children dine at 5, and all the playthings come alive. In port. Last to the chamber where I lie, my fearful footsteps patter nigh, and come from out the cold and gloom into my warm and cheerful room. There, safe arrived, we turn about to keep the coming shadows out, and close the happy door at last on all the perils that we passed. Then, when Mamma goes by to bed, she shall come in with tiptoe tread, and see me lying warm and fast, and in the land of Nod at last. Looking-Glass River. Smooth it slides upon its travel, here a wimple, there a gleam. Oh, the clean gravel, oh, the smooth stream. Sailing blossoms, silver fishes, paven pools as clear as air. How a child wishes to live down there. We can see our colored faces floating on the shaken pool, down in cool places, dim and very cool, till a wind or water wrinkle, dipping marten, plumping trout, spreads in a twinkle and blots all out. See the rings pursue each other. All below grows black as night, just as if Mother had blown out the light. Patience, children, just a minute. See the spreading circles die. The stream and all in it will clear by and by. Marching Song. Bring the comb and play upon it. Marching here we come. Willie cocks his Highland bonnet. Johnny beats the drum. Mary Jane commands the party. Peter leads the rear. Feet in time, alert and hearty, each a grenadier. All in the most martial manner, marching double quick, while the napkin like a banner waves upon the stick. Here's enough of fame and pillage, great Commander Jane. Now that we've been round the village, let's go home again. My bed is a boat. My bed is like a little boat. Nurse helps me in when I embark. She girds me in my sailor's coat and starts me in the dark. At night I go on board and say good night to all my friends on shore. I shut my eyes and sail away, and see and hear no more. And sometimes things to bed I take, as prudent sailors have to do. Perhaps a slice of wedding cake, perhaps a toy or two. All night across the dark we steer, but when the day returns at last, safe in my room beside the pier, I find my vessel fast. My kingdom. Down by a shining water well I found a very little dell, no higher than my head. The heather and the gorse about in summer bloom were coming out, some yellow and some red. I called the little pool a sea. The little hills were big to me, for I am very small. I made a boat, I made a town. I searched the caverns up and down, and named them one and all. And all about was mine, I said. The little sparrows overhead, the little minnows too. This was the world, and I was king. For me the bees came by to sing. For me the swallows flew. I played there were no deeper seas, nor any wider plains than these, nor other kings than me. At last I heard my mother call out from the house at evenfall to call me home to tea. And I must rise and leave my dell, and leave my dimpled water well, and leave my heather blooms. Alas! And as my home I neared, how very big my nurse appeared, how great and cool the rooms. My shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me, from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoots up taller like an Indian rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me, he's a coward, you can see. I'd think shame to stick to Nursey as that shadow sticks to me. One morning, very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepyhead, had stayed at home behind me, and was fast asleep in bed. My ship and I. Oh, it's I that am the captain of a tidy little ship, and a ship that goes a-sailing on the pond. And my ship it keeps a-turning all around and all about. But when I'm a little older, I shall find the secret out, how to send my vessel sailing on beyond. For I mean to grow as little as the dolly at the helm, and the dolly I intend to come alive. And with him beside me, it's a-sailing I shall go. It's a-sailing on the water when the jolly breezes blow, and the vessel goes a-divey, divey, dive. Oh, it's then you'll see me sailing through the rushes and the reeds, and you'll hear the water singing at the prow. For beside the dolly sailor I'm to voyage and explore, to land upon the island where no dolly was before, and to fire the penny cannon in the bow. Nest eggs. Birds all the sunny day flutter and quarrel here in the arbor-like tent of the laurel. Here in the fork the brown nest is seated, 4 little blue eggs the mother keeps heated. While we stand watching her, staring like gabies, safe in each egg are the bird's little babies. Soon the frail eggs they shall chip, and upspringing, make all the April woods merry with singing. Younger than we are, oh children, and frailer, soon in blue air they'll be singer and sailor. We, so much older, taller and stronger, we shall look down on the birdies no longer. They shall go flying with musical speeches high overhead in the tops of the beeches. In spite of our wisdom and sensible talking, we on our feet must go plodding and walking. Picture books in winter. Summer fading, winter comes. Frosty mornings, tingling thumbs, window robins, winter rooks, and the picture storybooks. Water now is turned to stone, nurse and I can walk upon. Still we find the flowing brooks in the picture storybooks. All the pretty things put by wait upon the children's eye, sheep and shepherds, trees and crooks, in the picture storybooks. We may see how all things are, seas and cities, near and far, and the flying fairies' looks in the picture storybooks. How am I to sing your praise, happy chimney corner days, sitting safe in nursery nooks, reading picture storybooks? Pirate Story. 3 of us afloat in the meadow by the swing, 3 of us aboard in the basket on the lee. Winds are in the air, they are blowing in the spring, and waves are on the meadow like the waves there are at sea. Where shall we adventure today that we're afloat, wary of the weather and steering by a star? Shall it be to Africa, a steering of the boat, to Providence or Babylon, or off to Malabar? Aye, but here is a squadron a-rowing on the sea, cattle on the meadow a-charging with a roar. Quick, and we'll escape them, they're as mad as they can be. The wicket is the harbor, and the garden is the shore. Rain. The rain is raining all around. It falls on field and tree. It rains on the umbrellas here and on the ships at sea. Shadow March. All round the house is the jet-black night. It stares through the window pane. It crawls in the corners, hiding from the light, and it moves with the moving flame. Now my little heart goes a-beating like a drum, with the breath of the boogie in my hair, and all round the candle the crooked shadows come, and go marching along up the stair. The shadow of the balusters, the shadow of the lamp, the shadow of the child that goes to bed. All the wicked shadows coming, tramp, 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 with the black night overhead. Summer Sun. Great is the sun, and wide he goes through empty heaven without repose. And in the blue and glowing days, more thick than rain, he showers his rays. Though closer still the blinds we pull to keep the shady parlor cool, yet he will find a chink or two to slip his golden fingers through. The dusty attic, spider-clad, he through the keyhole maketh glad, and through the broken edge of tiles into the laddered hayloft smiles. Meantime his golden face around he bears to all the garden ground, and sheds a warm and glittering look among the ivy's inmost nook. Above the hills, along the blue, round the bright air with footing true, to please the child, to paint the rose, the gardener of the world he goes. System. Every night my prayers I say, and get my dinner every day. And every day that I've been good, I get an orange after food. The child that is not clean and neat, with lots of toys and things to eat, he is a naughty child, I'm sure, or else his dear papa is poor. The flowers. All the names I know from nurse. Gardener's garters, shepherd's purse, bachelor's buttons, lady's smock, and the lady hollyhock. Fairy places, fairy things, fairy woods where the wild bee wings, tiny trees for tiny dames. These must all be fairy names. Tiny woods below whose boughs shady fairies weave a house. Tiny treetops, rose or thyme, where the braver fairies climb. Fair are grown-up people's trees, but the fairest woods are these, where, if I were not so tall, I should live for good and all. The Hayloft. Through all the pleasant meadow-side the grass grew shoulder-high, till the shining scythes went far and wide, and cut it down to dry. Those green and sweetly smelling crops they led in wagons home, and they piled them here in mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice that in these mountains dwell no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! With the sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The land of storybooks. At evening, when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing, and do not play at anything. Now, with my little gun, I crawl all in the dark along the wall and follow round the forest track away behind the sofa back. There, in the night, where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie, and play at books that I have read, till it is time to go to bed. These are the hills, these are the woods, these are my starry solitudes, and there the river by whose brink the roaring lions come to drink. I see the others far away, as if in firelit camp they lay, and I, like to an Indian scout, around their party prowled about. So, when my nurse comes in for me, home I return across the sea, and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. A little note here. A counterpane is a bedspread. So, this is a poem about a child playing in bed. The land of counterpane. When I was sick and lay abed, I had 2 pillows at my head, and all my toys beside me lay to keep me happy all the day. And sometimes for an hour or so I watched my leaden soldiers go, with different uniforms and drills, among the bedclothes through the hills. And sometimes sent my ships and fleets all up and down among the sheets, or brought my trees and houses out, and planted cities all about. I was the giant, great and still, that sits upon the pillow hill, and sees before him dale and plain, the pleasant land of counterpane. The Little Land. When at home alone I sit, and am very tired of it, I have just to shut my eyes to go sailing through the skies, to go sailing far away to the pleasant land of play, to the fairy land afar where the little people are, where the clover tops are trees, and the rain pools are the seas, and the leaves like little ships sail away on tiny trips. And above the daisy tree through the grasses, high o'erhead the bumblebee hums and passes. In that forest to and fro I can wander, I can go, see the spider and the fly, and the ants go marching by, carrying parcels with their feet down the green and grassy street. I can in the sorrel sit where the ladybird alit. I can climb the jointed grass, and on high see the greater swallows pass in the sky, and the round sun rolling by, heeding no such things as I. Through that forest I can pass, till as in a looking-glass, humming fly and daisy tree and my tiny self I see, painted very clear and neat on the rain pool at my feet. Should a leaflet come to land drifting near to where I stand, straight I'll board that tiny boat, round the rain-pool sea to float. Little thoughtful creatures sit on the grassy coasts of it. Little things with lovely eyes see me sailing with surprise. Some are clad in armor green. These have sure to battle been. Some are pied with every hue, black and crimson, gold and blue. Some have wings and swift are gone, but they all look kindly on. When my eyes I once again open and see all things plain, high bare walls, great bare floor, great big knobs on drawer and door, great big people perched on chairs, stitching tucks and mending tears, each a hill that I could climb, and talking nonsense all the time. Oh, dear me, that I could be a sailor on the rain-pool sea, a climber in the clover tree, and just come back a sleepyhead late at night to go to bed. The swing. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it is the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide, rivers and trees and cattle, and all over the countryside. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown, up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. The wind. I saw you toss the kites on high and blow the birds about the sky, and all around I heard you pass, like ladies' skirts across the grass. O wind a-blowing all day long, O wind that sings so loud a song. I saw the different things you did, but always you yourself you hid. I felt you push, I heard you call, I could not see yourself at all. O wind a-blowing all day long, O wind that sings so loud a song. O you that are so strong and cold, O blower, are you young or old? Are you a beast of field and tree, or just a stronger child than me? O wind a-blowing all day long, O wind that sings so loud a song. Where go the boats? Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever with trees on either hand. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? On goes the river, and out past the mill, away down the valley, away down the hill. Away down the river, 100 miles or more, other little children shall bring my boats ashore. Wintertime. Late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fiery sleepyhead. Blinks but an hour or two, and then a blood-red orange sets again. Before the stars have left the skies, at morning in the dark I rise, and shivering in my nakedness by the cold candle bathe and dress. Close by the jolly fire I sit to warm my frozen bones a bit, or with a reindeer sled explore the colder countries round the door. When to go out, my nurse doth wrap me in my comforter and cap. The cold wind burns my face and blows its frosty pepper up my nose. Black are my steps on silver sod, thick blows my frosty breath abroad, and tree and house and hill and lake are frosted like a wedding cake. Bed in summer. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way, I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day?